1/10. They're up next. It's been really good for that one. Well, you can see the bikes are back out onto the circuit, and they're going to be going back onto the grid now. And I think, yes, they are stopping on the grid this time around. As you can see them there all lined up. So hopefully we've got some grids up for you, and we'll get them out. Oh, there's no grids apparently. Oh, I've been told off. No, sorry, James.
It's an end of term atmosphere here in the Alpha Live studio. We're having a lot of fun this morning.
No uniform day.
No, it is absolutely non-uniform day. You're right. I've got my seriously uncool Top Gear T-shirt on. I'm feeling very laid back and chilled. Actually, this should be a very, very exciting day of action. But here comes the man to the front row of the grid, Joel Grieg, in his position, which is going to be on the outside line. And, of course, to the inside line, that is the number 35 bike. Zach Weston astride it, looking ready to go and ready to blast down to the first corner. Joe Mostiker on the 27, just inside the second row there on the left-hand side of your screen, the number 27 bike. And then beside him, it will be the 135, I think it is. No, my apologies, just out of position, that is actually. But we'll still have those few riders towards the front. Dan Stevenson is there, although I note that he's obviously not towards the front as we're used to seeing him. But this is a nice gentle play in the forest, basically, for him in a way, isn't it? Because he can just have a bit of a laugh and enjoy himself. No major pressure for Dan Stevenson. He just needs to bring it home in one piece, as he usually does. And he will be officially declared at the end of the race weekend, the 2019 Junior SM90 champion. The green flag is up in the air. It won't be long till it comes down, and when it does, we'll go racing and we'll charge to the first corner, and away we go. And it's a cracking start from Joel Grieg, who's already pulled clear into the first corner, and he is out in front. Not a great start for Zach Weston. He drops into third place in behind Joe Mostiker as the riders head their way through the first hairpin and into the first section of the course. A couple of riders just trying their best to get a little bit of a gap, but out in front, no problem at all for Joel Grieg. He's set off into a decent rhythm out in front. And it's a really easy run for him in the first couple of sectors of the lap as they run through the hairpins for the first time. Joel Grieg has got a decent advantage over Mostiker, but it already looks as though Mostiker is up for a bit of a scrap.
Yep, so it's a good breakaway, as you say, from the front row. They've managed to really pull a gap already on the rest of the field. Now, as you can see, they're going through that midsection, and they can see, oh, a rider there in the background has gone down already. But as they come through this last section of corners, we've got three clearly leading this pack and are breaking away, and they're going to sweep past our commentary box in just a moment as they cross the line. The timing tower will appear.
Red flags,
red flags come out. Yeah, red flag has come out. And that is due to an incident, I think, on the infield.
Can continue. You'll see it just off to the right of your picture. The rider is okay, just had a tumble on the way to the grid, but they're now just checking to make sure that the bike is all right. Rider has climbed astride it again, so hopefully it'll all be okay. And hopefully now we are third time lucky, because this is our third attempt at a start. The first one we didn't get one at all because there was a rider down on the formation lap. Second time we obviously got off to a bit of a decent start for the first lap with Grieg pulling away in front of Mostiker, and now we've obviously had the incident that befell the rider previously. Still couldn't bring you the identity of that particular rider, unfortunately. We couldn't quite make out the number from such a far distance. It'll be whoever is missing from the qualifying, basically, having had their qualifying session a little earlier on. But now we have a third time of going for the start. Messages, of course, are more than welcome. Do please send them in to us. We've had an awful lot of support for Billy Whiz, as he's known. A lot of people cheering on and rooting on for Billy as he gets himself up to speed once again. From the likes of Hannah Georgina Church, from Kev Carter, from the Mansfields. Green flag is in the air, and now it flies. So now we're racing down to the first corner. A couple of riders getting away. Now it's a much better start this time for Weston. Weston really launches this time. So Weston is now flying away out in front and gets an absolutely cracking start. So Weston has got himself up through the first couple of corners in a very decent lick.
He has indeed, yeah. As I say, Jake, and they all break away very well indeed. And, of course, another chance for these guys to really show what they've got as they go through. And these guys are back onto the infield now, avoiding, and this is, of course, where the first rider there went down, and everyone at the moment managing to get through that section. And, of course, it's a very narrow circuit, as I do keep mentioning, and it's, you know, it's one of those. You can see at the moment that the red flag is still up on the screen. That will hopefully disappear when they next cross the line. They break the timing beam, and the tower appears on the circuit, and you'll get how much time is remaining at the moment. So as they make their way out the final corner, across the start-finish line, here is your order. 9 laps to go, and it's Weston still leading the way. He's gone out there, apparently 8-minute lap on that last lap.
I suppose once you take everything into account, it probably was 8 minutes.
Probably was, yes, I'm sure.
But what a get-out-of-jail free card it is for Zach Weston. I mean, he's got himself into the lead on the restart, and he was down in about 3rd position in the initial getaway, but now he is leading the race once again. Joel Greek second from Mostica, Ruby Booth going well in front of George Bartle, then it's Stevenson, Wilkinson, Charlie and Ollie Pearson from Billy Carter in 10th place, then it is Hudson Cooper and Kieran Nelson from Brooke Champion, who of course is the title winner in Mini GP 110 this year, from Charlie Ward and Fabian Sands. So a very good start to the race weekend for Zach Weston then, having rebooted his weekend to a certain degree. Ruby Booth is under massive pressure at the moment from George Bartle. You just saw them in the stream racing wheel to wheel at the moment, very nearly pinion to pinion as well as they came through the hairpin. And they are still duelling away. Weston goes through and over the line, and now he's got a rhythm. This is the thing with Zach Weston. He's one of these riders who's very good at getting the natural rhythm flowing. He's really, really good. Once he's got himself a lead out in front, and it's just his road to play with, he's very, very hard to beat.
It's very true, and you can just see on the timings there alone, 54.09 that he set on that first flying lap out there. The guy's behind 56.55, so there you go. He's absolutely flying out there at the front, so great to see from Weston. George Bartle up into 4th. He's managed to get past Ruby Booth on that last lap around, and of course they're all running the SM90s out there, and of course the Mini GP 110s, they're the ones out there that are one leading from Zach Weston, and the next down there is 12th position. That's Kyra Nelson. Then Brooke Champion on the 46. She's leading the championship in that one at the moment, and I'm pretty sure has it sealed as well.
So they come through once again with 8 laps to complete. There is the rider that went down a little earlier on. I'm fairly sure battling away for position there, couldn't quite make out the front fairing. Apologies for that. There is the 127 going round though. That's Charlie Ward. So Charlie Ward running a good race. I think it was Kieran Nelson that we saw go down a little earlier on, but he's okay now and battling away with Brooke Champion. Yeah,
Kieran Nelson there. He's very skilled rider at the moment. Same with Brooke Champion. They have always had a good little scrap and battles when they go to circuits, and it's always been excellent to see as the rest of the field scrape through. New fastest lap of the race going to Zach Weston, 53.9, so into the 53s. Riders behind doing 57s, 56, so on another level.
Phenomenal pace from Zach Weston so far as the riders continue to duel away, and up side by side, that's Pearson getting on the inside there of Wilkinson. So a nice ride from Ollie Pearson to get on the inside of Luca Wilkinson and gets through into the right-hander. And as they come into the sweeping hairpin section, he's now got a nice poise on the bike actually. Really, really sensible style and a good stance as he neatly gets his way through the first of those hairpins. He now is just trying to get himself a good balanced rhythm. It's all about being smooth in this early phase of your riding career. A lot of these guys, of course, still pretty much at the beginning of their motorsport career. So obviously you want to just try and get yourself into a decent rhythm, take each race as it comes. A lot of these riders are, of course, learning on the job. It's not the fastest pace race you're going to see today, but certainly it's the emergence of new faces in the world of British mini bikes.
Definitely so, and you can see there again, looking down the inside there is Pearson. Of course, or is that Wilkinson?
It was Wilkinson trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, it's Wilkinson trying to get back. Of course, Ollie Pearson getting 2 positions there. Yeah, Wilkinson and Pearson, Charlie Pearson that is, 8th and 9th, they're going to be trying to fight their way back up through, and you can see them there as they go through. It's 5 laps to go that we've got now, and these guys giving us still a good little scrap out there as the 998 of Ollie Pearson still at the front of these two.
Just lapping the new boy, Fabian Sands, who is pretty fresh to the sport, and obviously the thing about these riders is they learn on the job. There's no other way of doing it. They go straight into racing, and you've got to remember that a lot of the riders in this one started in a very similar manner. Their first couple of races, they would have been lapped a couple of times as they got used to the speed of the bike, but you've got to learn on the job, so I'm sure that name, Fabian Sands, we're going to hear it several times in the future as he's battling for victories one day. Down the main straight, 9 seconds is the gap between Weston and Greig. Weston really got himself into a good run. Here comes Wilkinson having another go on the inside of Pearson, and this time he's got good momentum off the final turn, is able to knit it up the inside, plants the bike very nicely on the inside apex, brakes efficiently, and gets himself through without issue. So now Ollie Pearson is under pressure from Charlie Pearson, who's trying to have another go, but Ollie Pearson wants another piece round the outside in the long flowing right-hander. Oh, and he's Lost ground there. Has he got a problem?
That looks like a problem. That's very slow out of the turn number 3 there onto the back straight, and yeah, he's definitely disappeared out of shot there, so massive shame. Now here's the 3 and the 27. This is Grieg and Mostica. Now this, of course, is championship standing territory, and this is going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on in terms of second place with that, as they just negotiate around the outside of Brook Champion there, and as they go through into turn 3, and here you go. That's the close battle there between Mostica and Grieg.
So Ollie Pearson, unfortunately, has pulled off to the side of the road. He's being attended to. They have got him going again, so whatever it was a slight issue, and he's back into the race. But unfortunately, that's now dropped him out of the top 10. So Ollie Pearson in some dire straits, but Grieg and Mostica, this was the battle for the lead in the original start, but now, of course, is the battle further back in second position, 10 seconds behind Western. Behind them, you've got Nelson and Champion still battling away in 110, and Ollie Pearson, has pulled off again. So more problems as side by side, Mostica's trying to come around the outside of Grieg, and still Joel Grieg hangs on to this from Mozzie.
Of course, he's got to keep an eye on those yellow flags out there. It could have been a definite penalty for them if he did manage to get past. Of course, yellow flags in that section due to the recovering Ollie Pearson. So as these guys manage to get through there now, as they go round turn number 2, start another lap. 3 laps to go. Not much time to get this job done from Mostica. He's got to try and power all the pressure on to Grieg as they go into this thing. And he's going down the inside here, is he? Is that a braking move? No, it isn't. Ooh, so close there.
Yeah, he did a very good job, but Grieg had all of the opportunity to make it work for him. So he's been able to get more power on the throttle as he comes through. Mostica tries again, but that gap is so narrow when Joel Grieg's on the inside line. So Joel Grieg still hanging it out there to lead this battle for second position. They can't quite keep up with Western, although Western has been balked in the traffic. So he's lost a couple of seconds, Zach Western, just by being in the traffic in the wrong place. And now up the inside, is that Mostica going to try and make his move through? Oh, he's just squeezing as they go side by side now. Mostica has got through. Nicely done. No, he's not. A bit of an issue there for Grieg, but Mostica is not quite able to get through on the inside line, so a bit of a problem. But now it's going to get to be very, very close as the competitors continue to ride forward.
But you could see it there, definitely, when the exit in the final corner. Mostica definitely could squeeze the power on earlier as he goes to the outside here. Is he going to try and get the cut back as they switch back now? Is he going to try and go down the inside? But, of course, he's going to be outside into the next hairpin. We've got back markers ahead now. They're going to play a pivotal role in this.
So are they going to be able to get a decent run around the outside? Oh, careful, chaps. This is going to be a chance for Mostica. Has he got his way through? Not quite yet. And they are desperately trying to make sure that they get a decent, clean pass on Cooper. But Hudson Cooper is just doing his normal race. He's not really doing anything majorly wrong. He's just focusing on his own lines as round the outside Grieg. Yeah, Mostica is trying to come through. And they're going to go either way of Hudson Cooper as they go into the last lap. And this is going to be the critical moment. Can Mostica plant it on the inside on the brakes? No, he can't. He has to go round the outside. So Grieg hangs on a second.
Excellent defending driving from Grieg, and I say it was a definite decision. Do I go to the outside? Do I go to the inside? And he chose to go for that inside there, and it worked out massively for him. So now, as we exit turn number 3 again, Mostica looking down the inside here. It's the last lap. He knows it's the last lap. Goes for that move, and it is a good, successful move there from Mostica. Puts himself up to P2.
That was a lovely bit of riding from Mostica. He never, ever gave up, and now Joe has got his way through. So Mozzie's looking for second place in front of Joel Grieg. Out in front, meanwhile, Zach Weston is going to charge his way through to the victory as they prepare to wave the checkered flag to Zach Weston. Here he comes over the line. Brilliantly done from Weston. Absolutely terrific ride. Carter comes through in 9th position, albeit a lap down, and here is that fight for second place as they come through, and it is going to be the 27 that gets there first. Mostica fights for second place and gets it in front of Joel Grieg. Lovely move on the last lap.
Yeah, definitely worth that second place there. You could see he was lining up for that all the time, just trying to find where's the sweet spot on the circuit that I can get this done, and it was into turn 4. That's where he got it done. That was a brilliant move and managed to seal that second place for him.
And Bartle comes through in 4th position. It's Ruby Booth who will come through in P5, having lost a little bit of ground in the final couple of laps of racing, but still a nice charge there from Ruby Booth, and across the line in 6th position. It is going to be this very tight battle across the line. Well, this is the 110 battle, and Brook Champion just nails it on the finish. Brook Champion has got Kieran Nelson right at the bitter end, and that is why Brook Champion has pretty much nailed the 110 title fight this year. She's been absolutely brilliant. And Brook Champion takes the crown in this race as well, just in front of Kieran Nelson. She was dogging him all the way through the race, hustling, trying to find a way to get through, and managed to get it done on the last lap. So nicely done there by Brook Champion in front of Kieran Nelson.